Welcome to the red zone, not to be confused with the end zone or the friend zone. This is where you go to get your ass whooped by Omega Shenron. Now, I will give credit to this event. It actually is difficult enough where I actually have to pre-record this or post-record this. Where I played this yesterday, I got my ass whooped and I had to edit down the footage. Because Lord knows I picked the most retard teams thinking that it would just work out. And the answer to that question would be that no, it does not work out. But this is actually a pretty fun event. I like events like this where it's like hard enough where you gotta kind of try, but not so hard where it's like super battle extreme gotcha bukkake road where you're literally getting bent over and destroyed by characters and you're like, dude, like I can't play this fucking stage for 3 goddamn hours. So, shout out to anyone who has the time. I don't. I mean, I guess I do. I mean, honestly, this week I got the time. I'm going to be honest with you. This weekend, I'm living large, bro. I'm going back to my loser roots. I basically have a moment in time where, some friends are out of state, some friends are out of the country, and I have an excuse to be a loser at home and just do absolutely positively nothing, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. Like, McDonald's is going to fucking sue me for trademark infringement because the amount of love that I have from just doing nothing and being home. Oh, it's remarkable. And what's amazing is that I work from home. So you would think that me being home all week, like, why would it be special to stay home on the weekend? When you're a loser, you'll find out. You'll figure it out. It has a lot to do with being a lazy fuck. And listen, I can't work a regular 9 to 5 and like stay up till fucking 3 in the morning, wake up at 2 p.m. the next day, right? You need that to happen when you ain't got shit to do. I mean, I usually sleep in on the weekend anyway because, I'm not exactly the most productive member of society. But the point is, this weekend is for me. It's great. It's amazing. I actually been catching up on some Better Call Saul. I've been playing some Horizon Zero Dawn. It's amazing. I love it. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, the way the fucking heat has been lately, like, I wanted to talk hella shit about the UK and Great Britain, mostly because of the fact that the only two good things that come out of that place is fucking the Sidemen and Beta Squad. But listen, other than that, I want to talk hella shit about them bitching and moaning about the weather. Like, oh my god, this is the hottest weather we've ever seen. And I'll be like, yo, like, first of all, it's 80 degrees out. Shut up, stupid. But then the heat wave hit me, and I'm on the fucking East Coast. This ain't California. I ain't supposed to be seeing fucking forest fires outside. I ain't supposed to be seeing the fucking the goddamn bridges on fire when I'm fucking driving past that shit. It is hot as a motherfucker. And I'll be honest with you, it was so hot that when it started raining the other day, I just sat outside. I was like, I need this. Like, I need the fucking liquids to hit me. It was like whenever you're watching those documentaries in Africa where, like, you see a fucking lion, like, dying of fucking starvation and thirst, and then the rains of Africa come, like, once a quarter. It's like a quarterly fucking report. It just blesses the land. That's how that was. I'm not even joking, dude. The humidity was ridiculous. Like, I'm fucking bald, and I went outside, and my afro was popping out. I'm like, how the fuck is this even physically possible? It doesn't make sense. Drinking some Gatorade right now because it's still pretty fucking hot, honestly. I ain't gonna lie. I went to Costco a couple times. I saw air conditioners on sale, and I've always been Mr. I don't need an air conditioner because I'll just put a fan in my room and that's good enough for me. Nah, this summer is different. This summer is like the fucking do the right thing summer. It is fucking hot out, dude. I went on Amazon. I paid probably $30, $40 more than I should have for an air conditioner, which is decent. And that shit is coming. I don't know who is building this air conditioner. I don't know who is delivering this air conditioner. But they need to hurry the fuck up. Because if this shit comes by the end of August, I'm going to be salty. If this shit comes after Labor Day, I'm going to be upset. Real talk. But I'll tell you one thing. Although it's been super hot, one thing that has been keeping me pretty chilly lately would be all the hiring freezes every company's doing. I might as well, it's so funny. In the other video, I was so superstitious to say that I was like gonna get a job offer from a certain company. Like I kept saying, like, I've been interviewing with a certain company and I might get a job offer and I'm waiting and blah 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 blah. So this certain company is Big G, Google. Yeah, that's right, Google. I actually ended up doing an on-site over the summer and I ended up clearing it. I ended up matching with a team. I got level 2 SWE2. So if you're not familiar with Google levels, it's kind of weird because SWE2 you could technically go there after college, but at the same time, you could go there with 3 years of experience. It's very weird. They have like a new hire track that goes to that level, and then like other shit. The only reason I mentioned this is because I was so excited. I went on Blind. Blind is basically a toxic cesspool that I frequent a lot, and I was like, dude, I did it. I cleared the Google interview, but I might be getting the SW2 instead of the 3, and all the people are cooking the shit at me like, why would you want that title? Why would you do that? Just because what I interviewed for was SWE3, which would be great. What I got was good. And I think right now, so basically the hiring freeze is affecting me because I cleared the interview and then I matched with a team. And then I was going to do, or I did additional interviews. So I did, for the on-site, it's 4 interviews, 3 technical, 1 behavioral. And the 1 technical, let me just say, whoever that guy is, bro, I hope no one ever gets him again. My man he just straight up raped me with a word puzzle. Like, that dude showed me a picture of a word puzzle, and then that was it. Like I had to ask him, like, what do you want me to do with this puzzle? Like, what is the problem? Like, I had to ask him for, like, 10, maybe 15 minutes, and then finally he showed me some pseudocode. And I was like, I just started coding. I'm like, I'm going to guess what you're asking me, dude. Because right now, like, time is ticking, and I have no clue what he's asking. So I was surprised I was able to clear anything. It probably was due to a very strong round that I had. And then, another good round. And then the higher round was good. And then that one was just, I don't know if it was either lean higher, no higher. I don't think it was anything other than that. But anyway, I did that. I ended up matching with a team, and I was like, fuck, this is great. Like I got excited, honestly, because I was like, yo, this team is pretty cool. This seems really good, so much so that, where I'm working right now, I literally started not too long ago, and I'd be willing to burn a bridge here if the money right, if the team right, if the company right, you know what I mean? So I was like, I was thinking about it. Like, I wasn't like 100% be like, fuck the company I'm at right now, because it is pretty good too. But sometimes timing doesn't work out right. I was interviewing with Google before this company, or maybe a little bit after. And I just was like, fuck it, I'll continue interviewing with Google because, like, I'm not starting yet, and I took time off in between jobs. And I was like, whatever, might as well do it. I'm probably going to fail, but why not? So I did it, ended up passing it. And long story short, like a week ago, after I did additional interviews to be considered for a high level, Google basically announces, along with a lot of other companies, that they're having a hiring freeze. Google said it's only going to last 2 weeks. So maybe in like a week or two, I'll get an answer of like, hey, you can work at this team and everything is the same. The only thing we need to do now is look at the results of your interview. Or they can say, hey, the team that you wanted to work for, they no longer have the hiring capacity. They can't hire you. So look for a different team. Or they might just say, shit's tough, come back in 2023. I don't know. I honestly do not know. And to be fair, I'm kind of happy that I did the interviews that I did because I remember, dude, no one can tell me that like companies do not ask harder questions the worse the economy is. Because I remember in 2020, bro, the Amazon questions I got were nuclear. Absolutely, positively ridiculous. 2019 Amazon questions were nothing like that. I wasn't ready for 2019. But I remember 2020, 2021, the questions these companies were asking were fucking ridiculous. Like crazy, dude. Like I remember the Amazon OA, like when I got my job, I remember being like, dude, they asked like a union find question, and then they also asked a heap and array question. Both of them I was prepared for, but I was doing the problem like, holy shit, like this is so fucking long. Like how is this supposed to be done within 2 hours? Like I did it, but I was like, damn, like this is just the OA, the online assessment. So I did the additional interviews. I'm hoping they consider me for SWE3. Mostly because it'll make it easier. Like if they gave me SWE3, it'll be an easier decision to like, burn a bridge with my current company. Because I've been at my current company not even like 2 months, dude. So like if I were to quit now, that's like a super bad look. And my company is having a hiring freeze too. And also like I don't even know if I'm going to leave because the economy is shit now. So like honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. It kind of sucks, honestly, because if I had done this process maybe a month earlier, I could have dodged it. Technically, I had an open offer, and I could have accepted the SWE2 for this team. But literally, my recruiter was like, listen, you did pretty good. You actually did really good. And we actually want to consider you for SWE3. And you know what? You'll do the interviews. If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, you have, level 2. And I was like, okay, like, I'll do that. That sounds good to me. And lo and behold, it ended up where, the timing kind of was in the middle of this whole process where now, when the 2-week hiring freeze is up, if they continue the process, they're going to review my interviews. Hopefully they find it good enough. I think I did good. Hopefully they're not too strict. It really... It depends how the fucking leaves fall off the tree for this type of shit. Like, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get unlucky. Things happen, shit happens. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. I think for people who do interviews like this, not every technology company does super hard interviews, but for a lot of the larger companies or companies that pay well, they put you through this bullshit. Like, I started the Google process in May, man. Like, May, June, July. Like, that's a lot. Well, actually, I didn't start the Google process in May. I started the Google process in December of last year, but I kept getting drained so much that I was like, nah, I ain't doing it now. Nah, I ain't doing it, because I was studying. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, you have to study for this shit. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. And then I think it was February. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna schedule the on-site. I got busy around February because that's when I was at Amazon, still being like legit getting dogged. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna quit. I at that time I basically found a different job where I'm working right now, and I basically was like, okay, I'm gonna accept this. And if I get the Google offer, I was also interviewing with Apple. I was also interviewing with Meta. And I was like, listen, I don't want to stay at Amazon no matter what. And the offer I have right now is better than Amazon. And even if it was less money, I wouldn't give a shit. I just wanted to leave. I couldn't. At that point, I was the most senior person on my team. I was doing all the work. The on-call was annoying. Every fucking weekend I was on that shit. So I was able to get a better offer with a better team and a better work environment. So I took it. And I was like, hey, if I do these other companies and I get done with them, and if the offer is better, and if I really weigh the pros and cons, maybe I'll just be like, okay, I'm not going to work for the company I'm working with right now. I'll go with them, whatever. And basically, I remember I interviewed with Apple. I literally did 9 fucking interviews. I did, I think, 4 phone screens and then 5 on the on-site, or maybe 3 phone screens, 5 on the on-site. It was a ridiculous interview session, but I fucked up. The reason why I fucked up is because I told Apple I had a competing offer from the beginning. Don't do that. Pro tip, say that at the end when you're negotiating, because literally, especially Apple doesn't like negotiating in general, but they also don't like having to rush the process. If they basically have more candidates, which they did, they'd rather choose them because they can take their time. They can not negotiate as hard. And it might just be a different timeline. I don't know what the timeline looks like for Apple. So they just rejected me through a cold email, which sucked. Meta, I remember for the phone screen, I blew that up. That shit went down south. And then the last one was Google. So Google, I ended up doing the on-site, the actual on-site. All the prep, the planning, the talking happened in April. And then the on-site happened in May. And that was, I think I did good enough, but like I said, I had that one bullshit ass word problem where it was such a fucking L. And the recruiter was like, you know what, this looks good enough let's go find a team. If the team fucks with you, we can go find, go to the hiring committee. There's so many fail points at Google. That's why I never cared like that. I care, but I never thought I would ever get to anywhere through the Google process. There's so many different ways. By the way, this Vegito right here, this Super Vegito, a literal lifesaver. This dude ended up being the Sensu Bean and the Super Sensor. This guy's a fucking goat. But anyway, so what ended up happening with Google is that, I went through, I did the hiring and everything, and I'm basically at the point right now, I could have gotten an offer at the 2 level. Waiting to see if hiring resumes and everything's okay. Maybe I'll get the 3 level, but I don't know. A lot of people online were saying that basically this is the beginning of the actual recession, hiring freezes, Google reports earnings this week. If it's super ass, then fuck, it's all over. And this week, the Federal Reserve is having its interest rate hike meeting. Everyone's saying it's either going to be 0.75 or 1%. I'm thinking it's going to be 0.75 minimum because inflation right now is 9.1% according to CPI, Consumer Price Index. It was 8.6 in June, and it's 9.1 in July. Probably on track for 10 in fucking August at this rate. So the Federal Reserve is basically trying to do that interest rate hike. They said basically every meeting they're doing an interest rate hike. In the beginning of the year, they started a little bit mellow with 0.25 and 0.5, and then I think it was, April or May. From then on, it's looking like it's a 0.75 type of life, which, increases your mortgage rates, increases unemployment chances, increases the less likelihood of people taking out loans. Basically, the economy is going to slow down, which is not good for hiring. And it sucks. I was basically like right there. I was literally at the door, about to get the offer, like 1 or 2 more weeks. Not even. Literally, my recruiter called me the day of the hiring freeze, literally the day of. And the recruiter was like, okay, I'm going to take your additional rounds. I'm going to have it reviewed. And I can have an offer for you by Friday. I said, wowee, that's amazing. And then what ended up happening is that the hiring freeze happened. Literally that day, the hiring freeze happened, and I was like, fuck. Like, it really sucks. So for me, so for context, when you interview with Google, this may or may not be true now because of the hiring freeze, but usually if you pass their interview, they'll be like, okay, for a year you could work here. Like for a year you could go find a team, you could go find what you're interested in, and then you could join without doing a technical interview. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be true now because of the hiring freeze. I don't know if it's like, listen, we just don't have the head count. Try to interview again in late 2023. Your hiring thing is not valid. Blah blah blah. I don't know. Dude, this active skill is so sexy. This, that, and the third. But for me, I would really, really like to make level 3. That'd be really good. And I think that for the whole like joining Google, I was thinking of basically like if the offer was super duper good and if the money was super duper good, I would just quit my current job. But it's looking like to me like that's not going to happen, I don't think, because I think the hiring freeze is going to go longer, at least a quarter. And if a quarter goes by, and when I say a quarter, I mean like to Q4, beginning 2023. If that happens, that basically means I'll have like 6 months experience by that time. So I might just honestly, stick it out in my company for maybe a year. Reassess, do I want to leave? Do I want to stay? Because I do work at a good company. It's just, like if the Google level 3 was there, that'd be technically a little bit better. Comp-wise probably would be better as well. And for me, honestly, like the reason why I'm even thinking about quitting early or thinking about leaving is because I've always been studying, like trying to get into like a company like either Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta. Like those companies are good companies, but for me, I really want to stay at a company for a long time. And the reason why I would like to stay at Google for a long time is, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the team I matched with was really cool. I thought it was a really good team. That's what got me upset the most, is that even if I could join, I might not be able to join that team because they might not have the hiring capacity after this hiring freeze. Like, basically, this freeze is gonna last 2 weeks, and they're gonna decide what teams have what head count, who can hire, who cannot, stuff like that. So I'm basically like, if I have to start doing team match again, team matching lasted about a month. So team matching, basically, the way the Google process is that you pass the on-site, which is, the examination, basically. And then after that, you put your resume out there, you put your credentials out there, and then a bunch of teams look at your credentials and look at your information, and they're like, oh, okay, let's see if they're a match. So you have an interview with a hiring manager. You talk for 30 minutes. You give a little bit of your background. They give a background on the team. You talk about what you want, what they want, etc., etc. And then after that, you may or may not have that manager reach out and be like, oh, I want you to join. in my case, I had two teams that were interested. One team, the team I matched with, was like super interested, and they basically were like I spoke to the hiring manager longer than the actual meeting was. The meeting was like 30 minutes. I spoke to him for like 45 minutes, and then without me even saying anything, right after that meeting, like 2 days later, I had a follow up meeting with a director from that org. I don't know if that's normal or not, but did have a meeting with a director from that org. And it seemed like a really cool team. It seemed like really cool people. And I was like, that's when I was getting like, fuck. Like, I was super not invested. So don't get me wrong. You got to understand, I did this interview before. And I know that the process is so like outlandishly difficult that like, if you don't have a written offer, because look at me. I literally got to the point where I was about to get a written offer and I may not join still. So there's so many places to fail. You could fail the onsite. You could fail the team matching. You could fail the hiring committee, which is the biggest failure. That's like if you fail there, it's basically them saying like you can't work here. Even if a team wanted you, you can't work here. Like you're not eligible to work here, right? And then you could also, you could get down leveled or low balled. So in my case, I technically got down leveled from a level 3 possibility to a level 2, which more than likely meant the money would be less. Would it be so much less that I wouldn't consider it? I don't know. But 3 has a different pay band than 2. 2 has a pretty decent pay band. It's probably still more than what I'm making now, perhaps. Although I am remote. So Google doesn't do remote. Google does 3 days in, 2 days out, which isn't bad. I honestly would like to go back to the office, but, it's just a point. Like, it's not remote. Like, remote has some benefits. Obviously, no commute, no parking, no tolls, etc., etc. But then for Google, there's just like multiple things. So a lot of people, in order to get their quote unquote dream job, what they usually do is like they'll interview with like 3 or 4 companies and then have all 3 or 4 offers, and then whoever is the highest, if they actually like it, they'll join, or they'll use that to get a better offer at a different company. It's way too time consuming. I tried to do that. Apple swatted me away. The company I joined probably wouldn't have been competitive pay. Not so much so where it would really change much. Meta probably, but I failed that. Apple, maybe Apple, but I did not pass that even after all the rounds. Currently talking to DoorDash at the moment. They're actually still hiring. I was thinking of like getting a quote from them and maybe using that as a counteroffer, but I don't know. I basically like, I'm at the point now where I've been interviewing like over the summer. Like I took time off in between my jobs, so I like took time off to like vacation a little bit, just relax. But at the same time, I was interviewing quite heavily, at least 4 companies over the summer, and right now I'm like I did a phone screen. It was like an hour phone screen with DoorDash, and I have a manager meeting coming up, and then after that it'd be the on-site, and they can pay okay. Again, it depends on your interview for performance, and it depends on what they're looking for, but they can pay pretty good, so maybe I could use that as a counteroffer, or I don't know. For me, like, most important thing at the moment is like, I think just finding a company I want to stay at for like 2-3 years, maybe more. I don't know if the company I'm at, if that is the company, because I like the team a lot. I really do like the team. The team is super cool. But the product is a little bit boring in my opinion. Like it's very, very, very purely infrastructure based. It's like all virtual machine use. I've been working on it. Like I did my first task like a week or 2 ago. It's listen, at the end of the day, it's leagues and bounds above what I've done in the past in terms of like pay and benefits. But in terms of like work interest, I'm not super interested in it, and it's not a language I'm really interested in. So it's not really where I want to go with my career. Like it's kind of microservice development, but not really, because it's very tightly coupled and it's almost like monolithic. So, but what I'm saying is very like it's like a good problem to have. Like what I'm saying is basically like if I could join Google, then that may be a better choice than where I am now. But my company is still pretty good. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily a situation where I'm basically dumbfounded as to how I'm here. Like it's a good job. Like it's not terrible. So either way, we win in either way. At the end of the day, I'm still employed. I still have a job. I have health care, thank God, because that's one thing, you forget when you live in America. Sometimes you let the fucking Constitution, you let the fucking red, white, and blue, you be like, damn, this is the best country on earth. I love this country. And then I took a month off in between my job. I got Corona. Yeah, I got fucking Corona the second time. I thought Corona was done. I was like, yo, Joe Biden is president. How we got Corona? I got quadruple fucking vaxxed. I got every booster in the fucking book. And I was like, how the fuck do I have Corona again? I got Corona again. And I didn't have health care at that time because I quit my job. And I was like, hey, we taking off, motherfucker. We don't need no fucking health insurance. Joke's on me. I ended up needing the health insurance because I did get Corona again. And I had to pay a hot $800 motherfucking dollars for health insurance. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Because I basically had Cobra. So if you ever work at a job, most jobs have Cobra. It basically is like you could quit your job. And then I think for the next 3 to 6 months, you have the option to opt in and pay for your health care that your company was giving you. But now you're paying. Like you're the person who's paying for it. And then the company is like, you're basically keeping the health insurance that you have with your company. And I did that. And I was like, and the reason why I did it is because I was like, okay, I went on the insurance website. I'm like, let me look at the insurance, like what I would want. Like, could I basically, by the way, watch this. I'm getting rid of Incogita. Incogita, boof, irrelevant. Get him the fuck out of here. 5 Agito VB. VB all the way. Way better. I love you, Gogeta, but you suck ass without super when it comes to defense. But, so I went to the website with all the insurance, and I looked at the one insurance. The one insurance was like motherfucking $500. And it was ass. I was like, yo, like, what? How's this $500 and it doesn't have, like, dental all the way? Like, how's it not have this? How's it not have that? So I was like, all right, I was like, fuck it. Let me, like, pay the $800 fucking dollars. I mean, if I'm going to pay for health insurance, I might as well have coverage for shit I need. So I ended up paying for it. I ended up getting schemed through that fucking method of schemology. But I ended up working out, you know what I mean? It basically was a W for me because it basically allowed me to have my health care, allowed me to be a healthy young man, and I gave $800 to the fucking big pharmaceutical companies. Shout out Martin Shkreli. That motherfucker came out of prison. If you don't know who Martin Shkreli is, just know that man bought one of the rarest Wu-Tang albums and then played only one song. That piece of shit. He should have shared it. But it is what it is. The economy is slowing down. People still have a lot of jobs, but I don't know how long that's going to last for because, the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates like a motherfucker. And the only thing that's going to really affect with that is mortgage, loans, jobs. Not much of what we actually want inflation to go down with when it comes to gas and food, but, you got to take one day at a time. It's basically one of those things where the Federal Reserve can't really do anything to stop high gas prices or high food prices, technically. But they can cause unemployment and money issues so that technically inflation is no longer an issue and now you're combating fucking unemployment. So you're trading one problem for another, and it depends on what the policymakers want. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably know a lot more about my personal circumstances in about 2 weeks to a month. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It could be worse. It could be worse because I definitely, at my old job, I really wanted to leave. I love the product, honestly. I love the product. I loved my team. My manager was pretty cool. A little bit on the haphazard side when it came to priorities and things to do. But, what manager isn't? Not everyone's perfect, right? But the thing that was terrible about my last job was the leadership, bro. I remember we went through 4 directors in 1 year. Went through 2 managers in 1 year. I remember I was at the point in my company where I was looking to get a promotion, but I couldn't get a promotion because we didn't have enough people on the team to vouch for you. So the way that Amazon promotions work is that you'll be like, hey, I'm the manager. I think this person should, get a promotion. Look at that, 552,000. By the way, just for context, if you don't know, Super Saiyan 4, Goku and Vegeta, they only do good blocking on the first turn, and I thought that meant like when you go into the stage, like that first turn. No, 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 no. It literally means the first turn of like the boss. So these guys have good defense, but they don't have such wildly good defense where, they can take a fucking baby super to the face. But either which way, so when I was at Amazon, I basically could not get promoted because the way that Amazon's processes is that your manager would be like, yo, this guy's ready for a promotion, and then you got to go to a senior SDE, a senior project manager, or what is it, TPM, technical product manager, and be like, okay, we need these two to support. I had a senior SDE supporting me. I had a TPM supporting me. And then you need 3 level +1s on your team to vouch for you. And at that time, we didn't have it. Like, people quit the company. People left the team. People went on, like, fucking maternity leave. And that was it, bro. They were gone. Like, there was no one there. And it basically was a situation where I could not get promoted. And then, like, long enough time went by that new people joined. And my manager would just be like, okay, try to prove yourself to these new people. And by proving yourself to these new people, that'll make the promo process so much easier. We'll get your fucking promotion. Here you go. Like a fucking donkey with a carrot in front of your face. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And honestly, I would have even stayed because, like, through the performance review, like, even without a promotion, I got, like, a 25% raise, which is pretty righteous. Just a base salary. Like, base salary, 25% raise is really fucking good. Especially when your salary is big salary. Amazon is toxic, but they be paying the big boy salaries. Basically, leadership was terrible. Lack of leadership, really. And it was just stressful. Like, I remember before I left, like, literally the month of when I was leaving, my manager, like, put everyone in a meeting, and it was like, guys, listen, just so you know, the shit you've been working on for, like, a quarter and a half, irrelevant, we're not working on it anymore. And I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me? Like, all this time spent on this shit means nothing. And then he's like, now we're going to work on a new thing, and the due date is April 30th. That is the due date. And he told us this, I think, maybe mid-March, maybe. Mid-March, very late March, maybe. And in my head, I'm like, dude, in what fucking universe do you tell people that you need something by April 30th, right? And it may or may not get delivered. And honestly, I knew April 30th was the real date because I remember being in a meeting with, like, a senior SDE and, like, senior management. I don't know why, bro. I really shouldn't have been in that meeting, but it was like fucking process of elimination. Like, there were so many people that quit the fucking team that I ended up in those meetings. And I remember being in the meeting, and I'm like, God damn, like, this is crazy, you know what I mean? Like, this is some fucking crazy shit. And I remember basically management was like, April 30th is when we need something to show to stakeholders. Like, we have to show we're providing something. We have to show it. And what was so funny is that what ended up being provided was that it was a project that was going to make... It was a project that was going to make our, I think it was mostly business processes. I think it was basically to optimize the business processes. Like, we were basically going to take some monolithic services and make it more like a microservice and try to have, like, microservices exist that could be utilized by a monolith. And it's like, it was something that was doable in a quarter, you know what I mean? Give us 3 months. But a month and a half is such bullshit, dude. Like, the fact that they fucking did that, like, it is like a spit in the face. Like I felt so good quitting. Like, I think my last day was like April 15th, or like maybe late April, like before the 30th, basically. Because, like, what ended up happening is that a lot of the development is like feature development, where, like, you could do it, you know what I mean? It's technically possible, and it was like defined enough where you could work on it. But as God would have it, or the devil himself. Basically, leading up to this, the whole fucking time, our production was on fire. Like, we had production issues for new things that were rolling out. We had production issues for shit that's been out. We had production issues for business requests. And what ended up happening is that, like, you know, there's only like 3 developers at that time that could have handled it. Myself, someone else, and a senior SDE. One of the senior SDEs quit. He was just like, I'm gone. And I remember my manager just telling me, like, motherfucker disappeared. Like, you go to the daily stand-up meetings, he's not there anymore. And then my manager's like, yeah, he quit, by the way, just so you know. But, it's just regular churn. He quit, but we still strong. We rock solid. Don't go anywhere. Don't quit, dude. Stick around. And I'm like, dude, this is not normal, dude. Like you're supposed to have a goodbye meeting or a goodbye call or like something, bro. Like, this makes no sense. So he quit, and then it became two. It was a senior SDE and me. And then this senior motherfucker, dude, I don't know what he was thinking, but he pulled some mega Chad shit. He literally went on PTO for like 2 months. Like, he literally just hit the dips. He went to like fucking overseas on PTO, and he was gone for like 2 months, like during this business critical time. And I was like, this dude's a Chad. Like, what can I say? I can't talk shit. I wish I had the fucking balls to take fucking that much time off. And hold up, are we gonna take a super attack to the face? Yup, yes we are, because Gogeta can't counter. He's a dickhead. So yeah, like, everything was in disarray. Like, morale was super low. I remember even when I quit, I told my manager, and he was like, no, don't tell me this. He's like, no, this can't be. No. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm quitting, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta go. I got a better opportunity, which is true. I gotta go, bro. I gotta go. I gotta go. Oh, no, I gotta go. And I remember telling him, and I was like, dude, like, I want to tell the team. He's like, I'll tell the team. And like a week went by, and I was like, this motherfucker still didn't tell the team. And then like a week and a couple days went by, and I'm like, dude, I put in my 2 week notice. Like, I'm leaving, dude. Like, I'm gone. Like, I'm getting out of here. Like, I got to tell the team. So I ended up telling a couple of people, not the direct team that was working on the like critical mission. Oh my God, we got to do this in the world blows up project. I told like a senior SDE. I told a couple of people I used to work with. At that point, one good thing about having bad leadership is that we had a full team that got split in half and then got split in half again. So there's people who I'd worked with 2 quarters that were new hires, trained them up. All right, let's do this. We're ready for war. By the way, they're on a different team now. Go fuck yourself. So that was really good too. But I was like, goodbye, said my goodbyes to them and stuff. And then I told my manager, I'm like, dude, like we gotta, like, I gotta tell the regular team. He's like, okay, we could tell them like during the regular stand-up meeting. And I'm like, so the whole like, you gonna tell them, like, you're not even gonna tell them, like, what was the point of that? Like, my 2 week notice became like a 5-day notice. You know what I mean? And the whole point is to tell your team, so if they have questions, they can ask you, etc., etc. Anyway, like, I remember I told one senior SD, he was salty. He's like, I don't know why the fuck they did that. That's literally like the dumbest thing ever. I don't know why they would do that. And I agree with him. I don't know why they did it. It didn't really, it's not like morale was any better, because I looked on LinkedIn. A lot of people I used to work with quit. They went to like Instacart, Uber, you know what I mean? Like, pretty much every other company but fucking Amazon. It's just, ooh, is that a Gogeta counter? Is that a kick to the fucking face? Hold up, boom. That's a nice messy kick right there. A nice fucking corner pocket fucking goal right there. Beautiful. Been playing a lot of FIFA too, by the way, because PSN had FIFA for free. I've been playing the shit out of FIFA. Viva Italia, bro. Viva Italia. My boy Immobile be out here making goals like a motherfucker. But in general, you know what I mean? I'm happy I left Amazon. It was a really, really, really hard leaving, because like, I left in the middle of a project. I left in the middle of like leading 2 junior engineers. I left in the middle of the work, and it's like, I would have low key stayed, because the thing is, I took off, like, I quit, and I had months before I joined the new company, because I told the new company, I'm like, yo, listen, like, I don't want to join immediately because I want to finish up some work, and I also want to take time off. So I took like a couple month break before joining the company. Hindsight 2020, not the smartest thing to do in a fucked economy. Thankfully, I was able to join, but not exactly a big brain idea. But basically, I could have stayed and finished that project, but like, dude, priorities were shifting every 5 minutes. Like, I remember the last 2 weeks of me being there, I was just on call perpetually, just on call. So I was basically a shield for the team, and I didn't even work on the features. You know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't even do anything to begin with. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those things where it just did not work out. It was not great. By the way, speaking of did not work out, was not great. Am I mentally unwell? Like, why am I not using the active skill of either SSB Vegito here, or using the active skill of Goji? Oh, it's because it becomes Great Ape. Okay, that's why. Sorry, past me. I was like, damn, why aren't I doing that when the fucking game is over? It's because we got this fat ass who's gonna become a gorilla in 2 seconds. Yeah, I think I made the right decision. Because although I'm working on a product now that's a little bit less interesting, it's a little bit more of a, I don't want to say a monolith, but it is a little bit more monolithic in nature. It's a better team. At the end of the day, it's a better team. It's way better. The culture is way better. It has way more emphasis on mentorship. As well as getting mentorship, giving mentorship. So I'm happy. I'm happy with my decision. I'm happy where I am right now. And it basically begs the question of what do I want to do with my quote unquote career? Like, I never really coming out of school. I never really cared what I worked on. Like, some people are like, oh, I really want to work on games. I really want to work on VR. That worked out for Meta and SnapRip. I really want to work on, fucking biomedical, whatever. For me, I don't really give a shit. Honestly, I just chose my major because I was I legit was going to major in history. And I was like, yo, maybe I'll be a historian. Let me see what kind of jobs are. I went on LinkedIn. I put in job, looking for jobs where you have a history degree. And I saw librarian, fucking researcher, and that's it. I was like, and the average salary is $40K. I'm like, nah, man, I will not survive. That job is when your parents are both lawyers at Harvard and they both making $500,000 anyway, so whatever you pick don't fucking matter. But right now, my parents, my dad breaks his fucking back for $50K. That shit is fucking garbage, trash for a family. And I was like, yo, I need to level up. So I chose computer science because I was like, listen, or actually, I didn't even choose computer science. I just did a bunch of math and science classes and hoped it would work out, which it kind of did. But in general, I never really had a specific interest. I've never been oh, I want to go back to school to get my master's in this, or work on things like this. I guess as I work, I learn what I do like and what I don't like from a technical perspective. Because I think I got lucky with my first job. My first job was very distributed systems based, very, very purely microservice based, event driven, which is really good. Companies look for that. Even companies like Google, even companies like Amazon, fucking Apple, they all have the same problem. It's oh, we're working on a monolithic piece of shit and we want to make microservices. Can you help us? Or we want to make new services that are microservices. Do you know how that works? Do you know how the tracing works? Do you know how the design will look like? Do you know the optimal, routing and all that different stuff? So I have very good work experience. I'm very happy with that. Can't complain at all. But I really do wonder, I don't really have a goal necessarily other than, I guess, trying to find the best, team that's friendly, best product. And, totally not important at all is the pay. The pay is, for me, this is a passion project. I'm not even trying to get money out of this. 9,764,896. Shout out to Gogeta, bro. But, I also would like to get to a point where I'm content, because I think when I left my first company to go to Amazon, the pay was better, but the work-life balance and the team wasn't. And now coming to this company, the pay is a little bit better. The work-life balance definitely is better. I would say yes, it is better. And I think that the team is better. I think that the leadership is better. But I don't know if it's as good as Google, to be honest with you. Especially the team I talked to, it sounded really interesting. I mean, the grass is always greener on the other side, you know what I mean? I would be devastated if I went to Google and found that was a shit team. I would be depressed. I'm fuck me, man. I left a good team and a good company in the hopes of finding something better. Although, talking to the manager and the director, it seems like a cool team. It seems like a cool product. I would love to work there, dude, but might not be in the book. Might not be written in the cars, written in the fortunes, written in whatever the hell you want to look to. At the end of the day, you only have so much power over your own destiny. I did the best that I could do with the information I had at the time, and now we're chilling. At the end of the day, we still getting that paycheck. We still getting those buckaroos. We're still getting that money, and of course, I'm still paying Uncle Sam. There's no way I can get out of that, and hopefully, I get to the point where I make so much money that I'm like Elon Musk, where I just troll and buy companies. Like, yeah, I think I'm gonna buy Twitter. Actually, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm not gonna buy Twitter. Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy fucking. What the fuck was he saying he was gonna buy? What was it? Some company. I don't even remember what the fuck this guy said. This guy, every week, this guy's acquiring some other company, and then he backs out of it. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But either way, we survived another day. Still out here grinding. Still out here working. Still out here searching for the greatness that is the Dokkan event world. I mean, personally, I'm basically trying to get a better job and more money so I can just buy Dragonstones anyway. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but the economy is basically fucked. I am hoping to basically just become a Dragonstones dealer. Sell the Dragonstones, buy the Dragonstones, just live off the Dragonstones, make it the first pure NFT. But either way, this Red Zone event was pretty fucking neat. It was pretty cool. I like it. The other event was actually pretty cool too. I'd say it was easier up until the last one with Android 13. That guy was a motherfucker. But in general, I liked the event. I think it was fun. I think it was cool. Right amount of difficulty where it was pretty fucking annoying, but it wasn't impossible. So I'll give it credit for there. So Ultimate Red Zone GT Edition, beautiful, bountiful, amazing. Good night, good luck, and have a good day. And remember,